What's up, YouTube? This is Zach with Webflow. In this video, I'm just going to walk you guys through an entire Webflow hero page build. You're just going to be looking over my shoulder. It's going to be raw, unedited. We're just going to dive in. We're going to be rebuilding a site called Gantry. Pretty easy design, pretty aesthetic. We're going to be changing a few things about how I would tackle this. This site, Gantry, is listed on Andrew Lee's Designs, top 25 corporate designs. So we're just going to be copying this hero section. If you are a beginner Webflower or you're looking to get into Webflow, it's a great video for you. If you're an intermediate Webflow designer, you might pick up a few things. But really, this is a great place to be if you're just starting out Webflow or you want to pick up a few things and just watch someone build live. So let's get into it right away. What I recommend first is creating a style guide. Again, we're just doing the hero section, so I don't have a lot to put in the style guide. But the style guide would be calling out all your HTML classes. So your heading ones, making your buttons. Here's a pro tip as well. The container, I recommend using the container all throughout your website where it's applicable, where you don't need it to span the entire screen, because this is going to make it incredibly easy to make your site responsive. It's going to save you a lot of time. So when you do put a container in, a pro tip for you is to set the max width to 1200. I think it's standard at 900, but it just looks better on most laptops, especially bigger screens, when you set that max width to 1200. All right, so let's get in here. So right away, put in a section, and then I'll put the nav bar in. I'll build out the hero section. I'll probably be putting this video in at 70% width, and then this will be at 30. So whatever screen you're on, that would be how that will look like. But again, let's just dive in and start doing it. We'll see what kind of happens here. All right, so we're going to put in a section. We'll call this hero. I'll put in the nav bar. Let's take that ugly background color out. I didn't look up the fonts that they're using. I'll just use Open Sans for this section here, and then for the links, I'll just do Arial. That's fine. So let's see. We have company production team. I'm just gonna fly through this so you guys can get the most value. I'm gonna have to sit here and do it. Close it, production team. The other thing on the style guide, it's good to put all of your brand colors in there, because you're obviously going to be using the same colors throughout the website. So it's just easy to put in there. I picked this green, and then this is like an antique white that they're using. You can change all these at the same time. You can give them the same class or tag. So I'm going to change that color to the antique white. And then you can see that once you hover over, then they have that line underneath. Let's build out that. To get it directly underneath, we're going to highlight that, wrap it with a span, and then on the text span, we're going to build that out. We'll just call this we'll go on under the hover interaction, borders, do 2 pixels, and then we'll give it that antique. This needs to be on hover though. There, yeah, that looks good. So once we name it that class, it will automatically adapt built on there. It'll just inherit all the properties for that class. All those look good. Okay, so that one I accidentally put it on the entire. Didn't wrap just the individual text. It's a good thing we tested that. Okay, good. So they all look good. We're going to put their logo here. So in this brand link there, which automatically goes to the homepage for you. We are going to put it in. I just made a PNG screenshot of that and took out the background, so it's be a little bit pixelated. Obviously, if this were for a client, we'd be converting that to an SVG file. And we could push this more, play around with the spacing there, but for design purposes, this is fine. I'm going to put that actually above here. No, let's keep that. All right. So that's good. Let's build out this hero section here. So first thing we're going to do, best practice, is always to change the height to a vertical height of 100 for the hero section. We do this on all of our sites, all of our client sites. And what this is doing is once you land on the page, 100% of the view, no matter if you're on a tablet, mobile device, computer, is going to be the hero section, and everything is going to be in display. So it's always best practice to implement that. So if we have that 100 vertical height, we'll now give it this, I don't know if it's just black or, let me pick the color out. Okay, yeah, it's just black. There's a little bit of glare in my computer right now. So I'm going to enter that color hex code in there. And then I'm going to add this to my global swatch. It's actually midnight blue, so that was right. So that will be added into our swatch here, so it's going to be easily accessible moving forward. Now our nav links are hitting. So let me. Why is that? Okay. That's weird. I don't know why. Because as you can see here, it says it has, like, for example, this nav link has the antique white, but it doesn't show up until I actually go in there and change it. It's kind of weird. Whatever, we'll just knock that real quick. Okay. Good, so this part looks good. Again, we could change the spacing or the size, but it's not. Okay, so then next let's put in this video and this text here. So just from a user UI standpoint, if we look at this copy here, at Gantry, independent linking is in our beans. You know, it sounds cool, but whatever, but it doesn't really tell us where we're at, how this company is going to give us value, and there's no call to action on it. So while this is, this is good design, this video catches your eye, you know exactly where you are. But I'm just going to throw in a button there that says, contact us, fill out an inquiry form, which is usually best practice, especially in the hero section. You want to give your users a call to action. So like I was talking about earlier with the container, we're going to put a container in here. And we're going to name it my container. So automatically goes out to 1200 pixels, and you'll see I'm on my laptop here, so I'm building at this pixel width here. So it's going to span the entire width of my Webflow dashboard here. But it will look good on bigger screens as well. That 1200 is kind of my sweet spot. That's what I recommend. So we're going to push this down a little bit. We'll go to about 150, so it's kind of centered. And then I'm trying to think of the best way. I think I'm just going to throw a column section in here. We'll make this column 3/4 the width, and then this the last fourth, which is probably maybe the easiest way to do it. Yeah, that looks good there. So again, I'll probably just throw the video in here. We'll see what happens. We'll do. I think there's an option for a background video. Yeah, my mistake. You want this one. So we're going to pull up. Just a quick little side tip here. It's always best to compress videos, especially if you're using large background videos. For example, if you were to put a video over this entire hero underneath, which you'll see a lot of websites do, it's great, it's really engaging, looks really cool. Just remember to always try to compress those video files because they do take a while to load. We're noticing that on our agency website with Webflow. We have a few videos in there. As soon as we compress them down to I think it was 2 or 3 MB, we got better results for loading time. So while that loads, I can continue building here. So it actually has the entire width and height there. And then I push this down, so we might have to just remove that. So what I'm doing right now is just changing this so it takes up the entire viewport, just like we did with the hero section. But as you can see, it's kind of coming. So we'll change it to 90. We're gonna have to wait for it to load to kind of see where we're at. Let's continue on with this text over here. So we're going to use heading 1. And just do open sans. We'll give it that antique white color. It's pretty close. You might want to make it a little bit bigger. And then let's say at Gantry become independent. So to get this color green, we're gonna text expand it again, just so we can do with the outlines up here. And then use this medium C. Independent thinking. even more height because as you can see, they have more spacing here. Put that up at 7. Okay. Got this. Let me see what it is. Unwrap it, I should say. Okay. And it looks like it has a little bit of padding here. So I'll just put that in column 1. We'll go down like 40 pixels. Yeah, that looks all right. And again, this would be remove there, but just for time purposes. Then I'm going to throw that button in there. What I like to do with buttons a lot is add interactions, arrows, just subconsciously communicate that you're going to be taken somewhere, or it's what we want to do quick. I'll show you what I mean. So in this column here, we'll put in a button. And then I pre-built this in a style guide, I showed in the beginning. As you can see, there's just a simple arrow interaction. Again, this is just indicating that we want you to go somewhere. This button is going to take you somewhere. Just a subtle touch like that. Also makes the site a little bit more dynamic when there's animation in buttons. So I'll just simply say like contact us. We can make it a little bit bigger. I'm assuming we're going to have to publish it to see the actual video. And we can work a little bit on this button too if you wanted to add borders. But I like the subtle interaction of the arrow popping out there. And again, it gives the user direction. And their original site doesn't have a call to action on it. So let's publish this and see how the video looks. All right, so it's published. Let's view it. It's pretty similar. Again, this can be moved here. We can change the spacing. There's a subtle interaction with this arrow coming down. We won't dive into that in this video. We can definitely dive into Webflow interactions more. And then you'll see that this is coming all the way to the edge. We can fix that as well. But this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to stop there. Hopefully you picked up a trick or two. Again, I just wanted to bring more content on Webflow out to our users in the community. Just building live and showing you how we build at Webio. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. I'll link my email in the description below. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. Thanks so much.